and they're looking to redeem themselves for a lackluster performance this morning.
They do not want to be eliminated here in day one. What a cruel way to go out it would be for the Wolves. But here we go, into Oregon. Another comfortable map, I would say, for Wolves. We haven't seen them play it that often in very recent history, like Stage 2 kind of history, but they have a pretty good track record on it for the most part. And I think that Wolves going to Oregon are going to be feeling pretty comfortable about their map pool. And I think that just is, once again, a testament to the experience of the team, having a pretty wide strat book. But the ban phase has flown by us a little bit, half of it done. Both attacks being banned out already. It's Glaz and it's Ying, the disruptor operators, taken out by either one of these teams. Does mean that there is a type of execute, that the Glaz Ying type of execute, that has been taken away.
Yeah, very uncommon to see that Glaz ban, I must admit. I kind of took a double take when I saw that come through. Clearly Wolves know something that we do not, or at least that I do not. I
also do not know.
Okay, did you cast Alpha Theris? I know you did a day of Latin American League.
I did do a day of Latin America League, and I did cast Alpha Theris. But
did you see Glaz?
No.
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 Did you cast them on Oregon?
I don't remember. We casted a lot of Oregon.
I
casted a lot of Oregon
all
as well
into
in general, and it's all kind of one game.
Did you cast with Jake? Jake Xenox Venditti?
I did. That was one of the Oregon games.
My sympathies.
Oh, thank you. Anyway, alas, we're going to jump in. The point that I was going to try and make here is that between the EU League and the LATAM League, the game plays out really differently, right? In LATAM League, you have these really fast-paced mid-rounds where like everyone is throwing themselves at each other constantly through the mid-round, and so basically the round is over within a minute and 30 seconds left to go if you're a LATAM League player. If you are playing EU against Wolves, that is not quite how the game works. Yeah. And I think that Alpha Theris at the moment, their main struggle is actually playing at the tempo and the pace that Wolves are setting.
And Wolves vary that tempo so frequently as well, as we saw particularly in the Bliss game. Sometimes on defense, Wolves would just sit back. They know they have an advantage, and they would just chill out and wait for their opponents to make a mistake or waste time. In contrast, there'd be other rounds where they say, look guys, I've just droned out this, it's free, let's go. And I think that variation is what makes Wolves so unpredictable. But as we've seen consistently now in the two maps this major, Mandy, Wolves tend to struggle a little bit in the second half. They struggle at closing games. It happened against Bliss, and we started to see that doubt seep in as well in the first map on Bank when Alpha Theris started to mount that comeback. So Wolves starting on the defense here. On their opponent's map pick, I think this is exactly where they want to be.
Should be a fairly comfortable first half, as we've seen time and time again for Wolves, but it's about converting that to a win. First round here is going to be down into the basement bomb side, and quite a lot of time has ticked away now. It's been a minute, and Wolves haven't really shown a whole lot of resistance through the map. It's really just been very much centered around the stairs, and Alpha Theris now have free real estate on the top two floors of the map. Oh dear.
Okay, here we go.
Very nice.
Oh, poor Observer. That was a rough one. Okay, there we go. So hatches are being opened. As you said, a lot of free real estate seceded here by Wolves. But that's because, look at this lineup. Like, they are absolutely cooking on defense. When it comes to that bomb site, it is going to be nigh impossible to deal with that mirror, the catch, the double catch. You've got Jaeger and Wamai. You've got Warden to deal with any smokes or flashes. And, of course, Shinka on that oh-so-powerful Fenrir.
That being said, on the side of Alpha Theris, they do have quite a lot of throwable utility. They do have two sets of flashbangs, a set of grenades, and the Capital bots on Jay. So if they can do everything all together or dedicate themselves to burning through that spot, it could happen. But I think, like you've been pointing out, the power positions here on this basement defense can be very strong and difficult to clear.
Late round rotation, two players going over towards blue, Toski and Hask. One player above the hatch in meeting, looking to put some pressure on electrical. Here come the flashes. Well, my magnet's cleared on out. Shinka is forced back. A nade to follow. A second one, perhaps. Will Shinka survive this? He's getting aggressive. He's retaken the position, but he loses his life. Hask moves straight on through, meets a mirror window, and loses his own life. Bibu just barely manages to win his fight against Jay. It is pure, undiluted chaos in the server. As Toski is the last man standing, and he is frustrated to be confronted with that Fenrir. Gadget 1v3 with that diffuser cold on the ground and very little time to work with. Two players in the crossfire. Deadshot finds the final kill. And a good start for Wolves on their defense.
Nice one for Wolves. I think they just lent into Basement Oregon as Basement Oregon, and I won't overcomplicate it any more than that. I do not overthink that one. Look, it's a strong bomb site. If you can get all 5 players back on the bomb site, you've got all your catch, you've got your mirrors and your power positions. Even as an attack, even as a 5-man attacking roster, it can be then hard to still land that execute. I think Wolves played that one really well.
Yeah, basement is usually a given on Oregon. It's by far and away the best bomb site on that map, but these other bomb sites are where things get challenging. So moving up to dorms now for Wolves, this is the real opportunity for Alpha Atheris. And I'm curious what they're going to go for. Like, are they just going to do a pretty typical, like, try and clear master, try and clear attic take, or are they going to go for something more like a big window white stairs take, maybe a bit of vertical game? We do have the Gridlock and her nades, but not a lot else in terms of the nade game.
5 seconds to insertion.
Toski switching out onto the Buck though. That does make me think that maybe they are going to try and send in their players to play that vertical game from down below. Although Deadshot is down here on the Oryx, and he's going to be making havoc on his own. Of course, a very mobile operator, can jump in and up through the hatches, make his own rotates. He's the perfect operator, really, to be roaming in the ground floor.
Deadshot's such a good pickup, honestly. I was skeptical for a little bit, I admit, but he just seems like one of those guys is always consistent.
Alright, here goes Ivan though. Already trophy control, so no resistance whatsoever on the side of Wolves inside of trophy. They've really dialed back their defense towards only the bomb site, and even dedicating 2 Rios inside of meeting here to protect Deadshot in his position. Meanwhile though, it does seem like Alpha Atheris are in this decision-making process. Do they go and dedicate themselves to clearing out Deadshot, or do they just have a look at the bomb site?
At the moment, quite a lot of pressure on the bomb site. Oh, Bibu, he's missed his impact trick. That means that this wall will be breached. Now he's using the Azami's Keeper barrier to try and plug up this hole a little bit. He's plugged up the closet rotate into Master, and now a second one as well will give Kamikaze an opening.
Here we go now. Closet control in the hands of Alpha Atheris as they make their way on in. Deadshot has been left to his own devices, and that's the play that we're going to keep an eye on as they make their way in through attic. They need to be really cautious as they traverse in through this attic hallway, because there is going to be a player down below shooting them up through the hatch, and Mowgli's ready to cross as well.
This is a challenging defense now for Wolves. No line of sight here looking into Trophy from Pit. That protects Mowgli, but it also means there's no crossfire on site to try and deny that plan. Ivan is so close to walking on inside. There's only one player he will have to confront. Gunfight could mean it all. In goes the player, but the Fenrir device makes it a cloudy affair indeed. Oh, double kill for Bibu. Shinka as well gets into the fight. Mowgli getting aggressive now at the shotgun. Toski tries to find something. Another one for Bibu. Hask seems all but hopeless as he will fall to a flawless round from Wolves.
Really good stuff there from Wolves. Once again, pretty similar philosophy to that first defending round that they won as well. Just leaning into the stronghold of the anchor on the bomb site. They know that Alpha Atheris, yes, they've given a lot of space to them. Yes, they have given up Closet, they have given up Trophy. But by the time that they hit the bomb site, Alpha Atheris just didn't do enough work to actually cut down on the defense that had been set up inside of the bomb site itself, right? Like, once you go in for that top floor execute, it can be pretty tricky to get the bomb down. There's not that many safe spots, and the one safe spot that you can put it down in is pretty hard to get into in the first place, right? You've got to cross over the breach through basically half the bomb site and then get it in a corner. And so Alpha Atheris did try and brute force their way in, but Wolves just lent into the fact that they had the Azami up and they really could not get in.
Yeah, that Azami was really powerful. I don't know whether Alpha Atheris didn't have info on that or whether they felt like they didn't need to or didn't have the capacity to clear it. The other thing that really comes to mind is that's 2 rounds in a row, Mandy. We're spectating these attackers who are just running straight into the FNATs, the dread mines from Fenrir.
That's a good point.
I want to be clearing those. If I'm on the attack against Wolves, you're going to be picking the Twitch or the Brava.
Brava.
Yeah, I know your
My
favorite. I mean, the Brava is actually the best counter to the dread mines, not dreadnoughts, the dread mines, because when they're closed, the only gadget that can destroy them is Brava.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I think something that Alpha Atheris have been lacking in the series so far is problem solving. It just feels like Wolves have got their number. Actually, I wouldn't say that Wolves have got that now, but I think Wolves are just playing their strengths. They're playing strats that are comfortable to them, and they know what to do, and they're not overthought, and they're just doing it. Whereas I think on the side of Alpha Arcturus, they're not quite putting as much thought into it as Wolves are, even if it's just a little bit more simple. Oh, no. And like you've been saying, they've got to face tank some of these dread mines being sent into the Shadow Realm and taking damage for it, but in fact, they're actually going to double down on this peak onto Bibu and will take him down. But the vertical is there to meet them.
That's not half bad. P4 finds one. It's trades back and forth, Mandy, as Shinka is trying to hold on to Kitchen solo. Kamikaze is snuck into meeting. That is the bomb site, but where is the diffuser? It must remain on the ground somewhere because none of these three players have it. Oh no! A player went down with the diffuser, far from sight, far from control. Now his teammates must pick up the pieces. Mowgli has the diffuser, it's been pinged out, and Wolves know that they do not need to over-aggress. They can forfeit the site, they just need to hold on to the diffuser.
Oh man, and once again, a lot of value out of these dread mines. Another one of Shinka's has just gone off, and so that's going to telegraph one of the remaining plays of Alpha Theris, and it really does seem like they have the read on his diffuser position. Mowgli taking the tango, and Kamikaze will be able to take him down, and not even a slither of HP taken away from himself. Husk, though, has actually been able to reclaim the diffuser, somehow sneaking his way in through security.
Ivan must cover, low HP. 3 players on the defense for this retake. They don't need to rush. They can slowly but surely make their way through. Mowgli finds one. Traded back. Hask in a 1v2. Bit of damage on the Shinka. Oh, perfect shot! Deadshot describes what's been done to him. Shinka now changing his utility. He's activated that dread mine. Hask may well get caught. This is a 300 IQ play. And as the dread mine should activate, Shinka should have information on this final player. He moves on forward. Can he land the shot? He goes down. Is there time? Shinka's got it. He's got the clutch for Wolves. By the skin of their teeth, they keep themselves in it. They keep themselves flawless. 3 rounds on the trot.
Never in doubt, Dev. When it's Shinka on the clutch, you never doubt. The round is not over. And what a crazy microplay. Like you pointed out in the last couple seconds, realizing, hang on a moment, I can send him into the shot.
Need to overpeak because he knows the win condition is him staying alive and that diffuser staying on the ground. He doesn't need to get too aggressive. All he needs to do is mount that pressure on Alpha Arcturus. Now, I admit I've been a bit of a chess nerd recently, and recently I've heard a little bit of chess advice, which I think can apply a lot to Siege as well.
All right.
It's to take is a mistake. So in chess, to take a piece, if you don't have to take a piece, if you can instead add more pressure to that piece, that is the better option. And I can see the same thing happen here in Siege. Sometimes it's better to just increase your advantage instead of looking for more.
That's fair enough. That is very fair enough. It's like a risk and reward conversation all over again, you know? Like, you could go for the kill, but if you lose that fight, it puts your team in such a worse position than if you just didn't die.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes not dying is the most frustrating thing that you can play against, especially if you're on the attack and a defender is in a power position. Simply not dying as that defender can spiral the attack into making all kinds of unpredictable mistakes.
And that's kind of the key to this basement defense as well, right? The power positions in this bomb site are so strong that you kind of don't really need to roam. Like, yes, roaming is a strategy that is sometimes brought. Sometimes players, teams like to do it. It's all play style dependent. But in this particular series, Wolves have found a lot of success in just leaning into the bomb site itself and not looking for that extension. That being said, it does seem like Alpha Arcturus are cooking up what seems to be a rush.
I want to see it, Mandy. I really do want to see it. Solos is banned, so you can't see that Bliss coming from a mile away. However, mute jammers, if placed down, could stall out this Blitz. In it comes. The Gon 6 has been heard. Oh, but what a shot! Shinka landed it right in the feet. He one-shots the Blitz right out of the server, looking for more. Gets it! Double kill for Shinka. This man is unstoppable. And now Alpha Arcturus look like damn fools. Toski can't even find a damn thing. Kamikaze goes down without a second thought. And Wolves dominate 4 rounds straight.
Yeah, not a well thought out rush there from Alpha Arcturus at all. Just funneling straight into the setup that Wolves had on the bomb site. Once again, it's Shinka. I feel like this is the only name we've been talking about in this game so far. He is insane. And they just walk straight on into him. He's got the shotgun out and he's like, So anyway, cool, I'm just going to shoot the blitz because he has the trust in the SAS shotgun to do that. He goes around and is like, now I have a mirror. That's cool. And he shoots them as they go around the corner peeking the mirror and then gets even more confident, pushes through the rotate, and then goes for another one, and then another one inside of E-Box as well. Man, Shinka has been nuts.
It's fantastic to see that every single map we have watched from Wolves today has had a different star player. Earlier today, against Bliss, there's no doubt about it, it was P4. P4 had such a good, particularly first half. I think he dropped off a little bit as Wolves dropped off when Bliss maintained their reverse sweep. But on Bank, just prior to this, it was no doubt Bibu. He was insane. And now Shinka is stepping up for the team as well. Of course, keep in mind the kill count on the scoreboard is not complete because we've had that rehost, so that only includes all the rounds since it was 3-0. But Shinka's had so many big moments. He had his massive 1v3 clutch as well, let's not forget. And Wolves are banking on big plays like that to get that extra little 10% for their team.
Deadshot looking for the spawn peek outside onto lobby, contesting that long line of sight, but not able to quite land the shots. It's Alpha Theris to mount another attack and another approach into the building, but it does seem like they're going to meet pretty strong resistance. Mowgli holding onto Trophy early, but actually no utility to support him. So once again, Wolves not looking to extend their way over into Trophy, not even looking for the extension inside of Attic. Both Wolves are closed. They are just focusing inside of the bomb site and using that to their advantage.
Ooh, okay, good impact trick though from Bibu. Can he land the second one? Okay, two destructive devices from Ace, what are they called? Selmas, there we go. Destroyed on a third! Wow. Mowgli came over and threw his impact as well. That is massive now. Wolves have completely eliminated all of the hard breach that Alpha Theris have brought to the table.
I might call it here a bit early. I feel like they've lost the round off the back of that, to be honest. What can they do? Everything is closed. They have no more hard breach to open anything whatsoever. So every single wall is going to stay closed. The only way that Alpha Theris can win this round is if from here they then go and pivot to try and do something like a big tower and a kids type push or something like that that's more explosive, because the only thing they can do from this master side is funnel in from that one doorway, and that's the one that Bibu's looking at the moment. So they really need to make a pivot if they want to convert this.
Kamikaze does find one. Bibu almost loses his life to Hask. Down below, there are snakes in the grass. There are players down here. Bibu almost dies to that nade. Alpha Theris have a chance here. Numbers advantage on their side. You might not need a breach if you can bring it back with pure gunfights. But P4 down below dispatches with Hask and can continue to support his team.
Tough spot now, though, still for Alpha Theris. They need to follow their way on in, and there are still two players inside of this trophy position, being helped by the crossfire of Mowgli and of Bibu. And speaking of Mowgli, he's able to take the fight on onto Toski, goes for the re-swing onto Jay, 2 to his name, and that's going to put Alpha Theris at a pretty heavy man deficit now.
Doesn't get much worse than this for the LATAM team, the sole LATAM representative remaining in Atlanta. Eventually Mowgli goes down, but it doesn't matter because P4 down below finds the final kill. Mowgli's having a laugh. Wolves have just won 5 rounds straight of defense on their opponent's map pick.
I feel like I called it a bit early and I got a bit scared there, but I really do feel like Wolves won that round in the first 30 seconds. I'll be completely honest with you. The only options that Alpha Theris had once that wall was not open was then to go into funnel. And there was such little ways that they could have funneled into the bomb site with all the goo mines being up from Mowgli, all the Azami stuff that they just could not clear whatsoever. There was no way for them to get on in. And even as they peeked their head into the entry parts of the bomb site itself, instantly beheaded by Mowgli. 3 on the round, and Wolves just doing such a good job playing a simple game. I will say they're really not overthinking these strategies at all. They're very conservative. They're not overthought. They're not these crazy big stuff where they're holding onto the map, they're being ambitious about it. They're just holding onto the bomb site. That's all it takes.
Yeah. Damn. Alpha Theris are really struggling in this map specifically. Like on map 1 it wasn't so bad, but 5 rounds in a row. Mandy, it's been a rough day to be a Latin American fan. We already saw Knights go home without winning a single map in their BO3. They went down handily, they went down quietly. Revan, Six Karma, they didn't make it to this major. In fact, Six Karma, oh Mowgli, what are you doing, man? Okay. There you go, another team kill.
I think he was trying to shoot the glass in the window.
Fair enough.
And then killed him.
As I was saying, Six Karma, who were arguably the best Latin American team we've seen so far, they beat NIP. at the Copenhagen Major. They cannot make Six Invitational. Knights cannot make Six Invitational. Revan will not make it to the Six Invitational. Alpha Atheris is the final chance for Latin America to make it to SI. And their chances of doing so are looking very grim.
Speaking of grim.
I knew you were going to say that.
I mean, you set me up perfectly for it. Oh, hang on a moment though. P4 has just taken out Ivan over in Small Tower. Meanwhile, it does seem like the rest of Alpha Atheris are going to try and clear their way in through the top floor. Mowgli thinks the better of it is going to fall off into Zulu.
I don't know what Mowgli's thinking right now, but he's fired up. You could see it after last round. Since the rehost, 5-1.
Toski knows, I reckon. I think Toski knows that P4 is being cheeky. I think.
Where is that? Where is P4? Is he hiding in... Oh, it's in Small Tower, isn't it? Just around the corner. And yeah, you're right. I don't think that Toski knows exactly where he is, but he's got a feeling.
Shinka's thinking about it as well. He's like, all right, P4, I want to get you back. I want to get you back to safety, mate. I'm not keeping you in the Small Tower once the execute comes through. And he's just going to have a quick peek in through the shower hallway to make sure that it is safe for now. Meanwhile, though, the vertical game is in the hands of Alpha Atheris with the sledgehammer of Husk, and he can start to dislodge some of the anchors on the bomb site, although there isn't many. It's just Mowgli, and he's safe.
Bibu is pretty close to that bomb site as well.
Oh, dear.
And, well, as you can see, looks like the game is continuing. Now, we can see on our second monitor that the game is actually continuing at the moment. I can tell you it is still a 4v3 in favor of the Wolves with 50 seconds left to go, but Hask has found another kill. Mowgli's gone down. Shinka, though, does trade it. So at the moment, Wolves are in an advantage. It's now a 3 versus 1 for Wolves with Jay, the last player remaining, and I've now lost my second feed as well. So I don't know, but let's watch the players. It's a 3v1 for Wolves. We'll see their reaction when they win, surely.
Well, maybe they won't have a reaction.
Oh, here we go.
They're still going.
3v1 remains. Jay with it all to do. He's got the diffuser. Every single player on his team spectating him. Here's an angle for Shinka, though. Look at that prone, but P4 with the cross. Wolves handily, comfortably cruise their way onto match and series point.
Very nice. Very good from Wolves. They just chilled out. They fell off early as the room clear came through, and they were in the bomb site. But then the bomb site started getting verticaled. So they were like, oh no! Anyway. And they went off the bomb site, and they were safe.
There's been so many, oh no!
Oh no!
Anyway, moments in this game.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah. I think for Alpha Atheris here, they just don't seem to have it in their repertoire to problem solve the problems that Wolves are bringing to them.
And I think it's just getting exponentially worse as the game goes on. There's no doubt about it that Alpha Atheris are in their own heads. And we saw it in the first map when that team kill came out, when Kamikaze flicks to his teammate for... And it wasn't like a team kill like Mowgli where, oh, I was trying to shoot the floor. No. He, in the heat of the moment, got confused and thought that was an enemy and shoots to his head. That is like such a devastating way to exit your tournament, right? You see something like that go down, you know that it's pure chaos in the comms. Nil sitting back there, listening to it all unfold, getting his chance to throw a tactical timeout in the mix, and it not counting for anything. That is gutting. We may not have any Mexican representatives at Six Invitational in terms of a team. We, of course, have Gio on Sonics, so credit to him. That's good. Mexican fans at least have someone to back for, but we've never had a majority Mexican team make it to a Six Invitational before. And Alpha Atheris, their chances of doing so are slipping away.
Here goes Wolves at their approach in on the building. It is the basement bomb site of choice for Alpha Atheris. Fair enough, and it does look like they are extending their roam out in through the ground floor. And what that means is that they've left the site rather vulnerable. P4 is going to put a drone inside of Blue Bunker, just in the corner of the generator, and has identified that there's actually no one playing in it just yet. It does seem like Alpha Atheris are leaning into playing that meeting power position for as long as they can, but then actually looking for the fall off through the hatch.
Well, that hatch though. Oh, Jay misses the Twitch drone. That's unfortunate. Deadshot's getting a lot of information. Okay, guys. Dreadmine down on the rear stairs. No Dreadmine on blue. Shinka has taken down Hask, one of the best players from Alpha Atheris earlier today. And the remaining roster must stave off 5 very keen, very excitable, and very riled up Wolves Now, Kamikaze is able to take down Mowgli. That's something, but he'll need a hell of a lot more than that. Here's Bibu on the shield. Don't get too close.
They're thinking about it, our Wolves. They're thinking that they can maybe hit the bomb site. Oh, what's going on over there? By the double door, okay. Toski taking a little bit of damage and thinks the better of it and is going to fall off. Meanwhile, Bibu creeping his way on in towards the bomb site. What they need to worry about is these dread mines as they make their way on in, but Deadshot's going to make things easier, taking down Jay. Now, man advantage still in the hands of Wolves as they have a whole minute left to plan this execute.
And some change as well. Shinka's going to get a nice line of sight breach on this wall. Now, no actual entry, not required. All it's used for is to try and punish any players getting aggressive in the site. Now, those Vulcan canisters are going to delay a bit of time. P4 as well is able to clog up this site and the surrounding hallways with these track stingers. Oh, he takes a bit of damage. Needs to be careful. When will this plan come through? Ivan's actually snuck on in. He's taken down Bibu. Where was the cover? Shinka trades, but it may be too late. 2 players survive.
Tough spot there for Toski. Only 2 remaining players for Alpha Theris, and they're holding the crossfires for dear life, but there goes the Dread Mine.
And Kamikaze takes down P4. This is possible. There is a dream, and Toski makes it a reality. The trade from Shinka, and the trade back again from Kamikaze. It's still going. This is not done yet. Wolves might have a 6-0 lead, but finally Alpha Theris, they wake up and they start to fight back. They fight for their chance to survive at the major.
Close round there for both of them. It just came down to a 1 versus 1. Kamikaze and Shinka. And a rare sight, but Shinka actually doesn't win that one out. And you don't see that every day, but a solid defense, I think, overall for Alpha Theris. They fell back into the bomb site once they realized that Wolves were doing a class of Wolves MO and direct hitting into the bomb site and really not being super keen on clearing out that roam. The only person that really dedicated themselves to it was Deadshot on his own lurk. And, well, it did work out a little bit, but they couldn't quite translate it in the end from there. So Alpha Theris, yes, they've successfully won the basement, but now they have to do it in kids.
Yeah, got to do it in kids, and then you got to do it on a tertiary, and then you got to do all those 3 rounds again to push overtime, and then you got to win your overtime, and then you got to go to Nighthaven Labs.
Damn.
So there's a bloody lot to go for Alpha Theris. This is not a walk in the park. This is just about as hard as it will ever get.
Yep.
But you can't think about that 1 round at a time. 1 foot in front of the other. It's the only way forwards.
That certainly is. And Alpha Theris, they're going to go over to kids and dorms, but they have a very different strategy to what Wolves brought. Wolves, they completely closed themselves off in the bomb site. They were like, we're safe. We're comfy here. Is there a point in extending? Not really, but Alpha Theris don't think the same. They've extended themselves all the way into attic and inside of closet, even a rotation hole being made there, and the pit walls open as well. So they are actually trying to contest Wolves a little bit earlier on in the entry as they make their way on in.
Wolves, slow and steady as they very commonly are. Kamikaze is still holding on to his position. It looks like, yeah, he actually hasn't lost his shield yet.
Here goes Kamikaze on his peak. Takes a little bit of damage, but is able to get away with his life. And Mowgli's going to have a reattempt on the Rotero drone inside of Trophy. I can't believe he didn't kill it the first time, to be honest, but it has this time. It's going to force Alpha Theris back in towards the bomb site, but they still have a rotation hole if they want to re-aggress into closet.
There's a lot of options still available for Alpha Theris, but I think that with how they played so far, Mandy, I wouldn't recommend overthinking it and trying to overcomplicate this, because Wolves, they love in the mid-round just sitting back and holding angles and waiting for the opponents to make a mistake.
They like having a think.
They do. And sometimes it's good to just chill out. You don't have to overthink. You can just wait patiently. Ivan, a bit of pressure thanks to that nade. The second one may come through, or perhaps some track stings to boot. And do not go prone at the top of White Stairs. I tell you what, we have seen that pan out far too poorly for far many players too many times. Ivan, though, dueling quite a difficult position. Mowgli does find Kamikaze, but there is a trade from Toski. Numbers advantage maintained by Wolves.
Oh, but here goes P4 up the White Stairs and able to backstab into Toski. Can he claim the second? No, he can't. Jay is there for the trade to hold strong inside the bomb site, but it's all Jay now left to do in the 1 versus 3.
And he will fall eventually to Deadshot. Wolves